What's up, fellow go-givers? JUJUAN Buford broadcasting from Detroit, Michigan. And look, I have not been in these social media streets in a while, so you have to forgive me. I've had my head down, hands in the dirt, going out here doing the work, building taller buildings. But every now and again, as you know, there's a couple topics that will come up, and I want to broach it and kind of do a deeper dive. And so, look, let's get into it. Look, I had a conversation with an entrepreneur a couple weeks ago, and the question that was posed to me was, look, how do I build my business? How do I find talent? How do I find personnel? How do I scale, right? What are the things that I need to do to make sure that when I look up a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, I have the leverage that I seek, right? I want to build a sales team. I want to get out here and take on the world and make an impact and all these different things and know what it's like to be financially independent. And I pressed pause. I said, look, do you know what's good? Yeah, I know it sounds weird, right? I just said, look, hard stop. What's good? Do you even know what you're taking aim at? Because I hear you're spending all this time on LinkedIn. I hear you're spending all this time on social media. You're knocking on doors. You're out there sharing your mission, your product or service with the world, but do you really know what's good? Because if you don't know what's good, number one, you don't know where to find what's good. You don't know how to talk to what's good. You don't know how to attract what's good. And look, just follow me here, right? And I said, look, at the end of the day, I believe everyone deserves an opportunity. Just an opportunity, but not everyone's deserve it. Not everybody's willing to go out and earn it, right? That's kind of like my humanitarian, altruistic view on things. But let's not get it twisted. Not everybody's willing to earn it. And if you're going to build a large organization, and I don't care what you're marketing, I don't care what your mission is, whether you're a for-profit, nonprofit, whether you're a car dealership, selling health supplements, legal plans, soap, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you still have to be able to define what's good. Who are you looking for? Who's that ideal person that you want to work with, right? And before you can even identify that person, you still have to create a culture, that person, or fertile ground for that person to thrive in, right? You have to know what's good yourself first, right? Look, there's an acronym out there. I believe the book's sitting right behind me, Traction, right? And I'm going to probably mess with the acronym. I just kind of fit it for my purposes, right? You got to look for people who get it, who get the mission, who get the vision, who get what it is you're looking to accomplish. They get it. You know what I mean? They know what the assignment is. I know for the people I work with, the assignment is real simple. We believe entrepreneurship is empowerment. That's just the bottom line. And it's not the only way to get free, but it is the predominant way to get free. You can't have agency in a society that requires ownership and not have it. And it's tough to make smart decisions in terms of your family. It's tough to make smart decisions about anything going on in your household. You don't know how a job's going to be here 2 to 3 years from now because you have no ownership. Anybody at any given time can just basically 86 you on a whim, right? And of course, if you're an entrepreneur and you're successful and you scale, you can employ the block. You employ your family, friends, and neighbors. You become an opportunity provider in the ecosystem. Lord knows we need it in our community more than ever, right? People who actually employ other individuals, because then you get to dictate the terms and the environments that you operate and live in. And so often, the terms are being dictated by people who don't even live in our communities, right? We believe in that. And so when I'm out and about having conversations with people, I'm looking to see, do you get it? Are you about that life? Are you constantly talking about business development, financial independence? Are you aware of what's going on out here? Right? Do they get it? Then you have to be able to find, look, are they willing to be accountable? Because people can be passionate about what it is that you do, right? I think the acronym's GAS anyway. Do they get it? Are they willing to be accountable? I think it should be like W, so willing. Anyway. A for accountability. Do they want to be accountable? Because people can dig what it is you do and not want to be accountable at all. They can just say, look, what you're doing is great. It's fantastic. It's wonderful. I'm not doing that. I'm not coming in early. I'm not staying late. I know this needs to be done by a deadline. I'm just not doing it. I can't get up for it. I don't want to be accountable, right? And some people sometimes will switch that with coachable, right? They don't want to be even coachable. You got a lot of people who just don't have respect for entrepreneurship. They don't understand the price is paid to get to a certain point, right? They just assume that because they start a business and because, you know, we have this culture today, this nonsense is being spread throughout society, that you're good enough. That because you're so good, you're deserving of all the things that other people have. No, you're not. Anyone who's built a business and is generating grown adult income, and more importantly, has created an ecosystem that serves and helps others, you have no idea the price they paid. No idea. And some people will have the idea and know the price has been paid, but you know what? They still don't want to be accountable to it. Straight up. So, you gotta want to be accountable. They'll be willing to follow through on the KPIs and RGAs, key performance indicators, revenue generating activities, right? They're gonna be willing to do the things that are required for that business to run. They gotta see themselves as part of a larger whole, right? And so if they don't have that, you have a problem. You got to be able to define what are the skills that pay the bills. What are the things you need them to do, right? What are the things that they have to learn? I'll take someone with mediocre talent all day long that's willing to get it and wants to be accountable, though, over someone who has all the skills in the world and refuses to be accountable and really doesn't get it. They're just mercenaries, right? These are the things you have to be able to define so you can define what's good. But if you don't know these things about your own business, if you don't have like bedrock, when a person steps into your house, so to speak, steps into your business, they're just going to kick up their feet and do whatever, right? You got to be able to define what's good. You have to be able to define the type of person that you want to invite into your business, into your house, right? You're building something, or as a way that I like to look at it, into your apple orchard. That's how I look at it, right? Because you are building something that's going to feed people. Predominantly, when you first start out, you're a team with me, so you're feeding yourself. You are the culture. You are the reason why the business exists, because it's you. And then at some point, if you're growing and you're scaling and you're as good as you think you are, you will look to your left, you'll look to your right, and there will be people there with you. And now the apple orchard begins to feed them. The business begins to feed them. And if you are really as good as you think you are and you're committed to the right things, that apple orchard will eventually grow to the point where not only is it feeding you and it's feeding them, but now you are feeding an entire ecosystem, right? But there's steps, there's levels to it, right? And you're inviting people into that orchard. What kind of people do you want to invite? Do you know the profile of the person that you're looking for? I know for me personally, I look for people who, number one, are hungry but not desperate, because there's a difference, right? I'm looking for people who have drawn a line in the sand, where when I give them the track to run on, they run, they sprint, got this. Give me the directions, I want it. I look for that. I look for people who are intellectually curious. They want to learn, because I know this entrepreneurship thing is a business of arbitrage, of knowledge as well. The bottom line is, those of us who win tend to see things first. We tend to come up with solutions first. We have to be constant learners. I firmly believe readers are leaders. Doesn't mean everybody needs to quote unquote read to be a leader, but you get my point, right? You got to be constantly learning, constantly observing, constantly growing, constantly keeping up with the trends. You got to have your ear to the streets and be intellectually curious enough to ask questions, but not necessarily question everything just because. Right? There's a fine balance there too. When you bring somebody into your house, into your business, into your apple orchard, right? So I look for people like that who are, look, I want to learn. I know when I get around someone whose stack is bigger than mine, man, be careful, because I will pull out the little tiny notebook and I will start asking a million questions. That's what I look for. People who are hungry to learn, to level up, to get better at the game. I can tell you the other characteristics that I look for are individuals who, you know, quite frankly, have some passion, some mission, a track record of success of pouring themselves into something so I can make an assessment. Are they a marathon runner? Are they a sprinter? I want to know those things about a person. I want to know what motivates them, right? Are you simply motivated by money? Are you motivated by having fun? Are you motivated by the desire to make a difference in the world and make an impact? Are you a person that just wants to empower people with knowledge and information? Those things are important. I look for those things, right? I look for energies to balance the interaction and exchanges between people out, if you will. So I like a little bit of diversity. I know who I'm looking for. So when I'm on LinkedIn because I know there's a greater likelihood I'm gonna run into certain types of people like that than as opposed to Facebook. Just being real. There are certain coffee shops I go to. There are certain places where I may promote my business. There are certain luncheons I may attend, right? I make sure that I am optimizing the likelihood that I'm going to attract that person or at least end up being in that person's space so I have the opportunity, right? And you have to be able to define what's good. If you're not able to define these things, it's no wonder you may be attracting talented people, but they don't stick and stay, or you don't get along, or et cetera, or you're not attracting the right people. You're not attracting the personnel you're looking for because you, once again, haven't defined what's good. Some of you aren't even out there looking for what's good, which is tragic. Your business isn't going to grow if you're not looking. And I know what it is. Well, I just don't have the bandwidth, or I don't have the time, or I'm not comfortable. You don't have time not to. You don't have the luxury of deciding whether you're comfortable or not. Look, there's a reason why when you walk into a Starbucks, typically the manager's always interviewing someone. I mean, for God's sake, there's only like 5 or 6, or maybe in the biggest ones like 8 slots they need to fill. But yet they are constantly interviewing people. Why? Because they understand, even at the level of bringing in someone to do retail coffee at Starbucks, that they have to constantly be upgrading their talent. Life happens. BS.com transpires. Death, disability, car accidents. People get married. People graduate from school. People move on. They level up. They want more. And if you're not, especially providing fertile ground where they feel like they can grow within your business and become the thing they want to become, they're going to find greener pastures and more fertile soil elsewhere for their goals and objectives, which is a huge clue, by the way, that I just dropped. That's how you also make sure that you're providing what's good. But once again, finding what's good, right? Let's get back to that. Look, you have to understand these things. You need to be constantly upgrading. Football teams recruit. Basketball teams recruit. Your church recruits. Libraries recruit. Orchestras recruit. We're all in a fight for talent. That's what we're competing. I'm not competing against the people that I work with. I'm competing against the other individuals, the other companies, the other entities for talent out here, because I know if I have the best talent and I also have solid ground, fertile ground for the talent I bring in, I know who I'm looking for, and I've given them a track to run on, I should win all day, every day. And if you don't fit the culture, if you don't get it, you don't want to be accountable for, there's methodology, there's ways to help you ease your way on out. I prefer to help people just, find another landing spot as opposed to just kick them out in the cold to the street unless something really, absurd happened, right? Then a different conversation all day. But the bottom line is, those are the types of things that I'd encourage business owners to look for. Get really clear about what's good. Get really clear about who you're looking for so you can identify that person, know how to approach them, once again, background, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right? That's how you make sure you have a chance to win out here. And so, look, as always, if this makes sense, if this resonated with you, ring the bell in terms of either liking or subscribing, right? Let the algorithm know that this was good. And look, I enjoy the feedback, right? I eat them like Skittles. So any feedback you give to help me make this a more edutainment-like experience, I'm always down to hear and read comments. I'm not afraid of the commentary. I got thick skin. With that being said, I celebrate success in advance. Go out there and build something. Goodbye for now.